So if you haven't read the comic, there will be some spoilers for what happens in the Viltrumite War, but that should be kind of obvious. So during the war, everyone is fighting in space above, well, spoilers, what remains of Viltrum, as Mark, Nolan, and Thaddeus had destroyed it, but Thragg kills Thaddeus and swears to kill the rest. He starts with Mark and races towards him and is smacked away, but launches back in with a punch, yelling that he killed his brother, as earlier Thragg heavily injured Oliver. Mark punches him, but Thragg fucking headbutts it and chokes Mark, batting him away afterwards, talking about his planet and how he's destroyed it, the history, the heritage, and he rants to Mark, as he fucking has both knuckles against his temples trying to crush his head. But before he can kill Mark, Omni punches Thragg off of his son, but after a bit of a scuffle, they're at a stalemate, as Thragg wonders why Nolan sided with Thaddeus. It says that he's the traitor as he's the one who killed the old Emperor Argol and sent the Empire into disarray, as well as being behind the Scourge virus. And Omni-Man's redemption arc comes full circle as he tells Thragg he's not the man he once was, and that he feels the Viltrumites deserve nothing but extinction for what they've done. Thragg yells no as he headbutts Nolan while Mark tries to recover from his fucking death noogie, but this is when Battle Beast launches forward saying he's finally found a worthy adversary, but he's easily choked and tossed aside by Thragg, calling him a nuisance at best. Meanwhile, Alan tries to fend off Krieg, Anissa, and a couple other Viltrumites, but he's starting to get overwhelmed, while Tech Jacket is just trying to stay alive. Anissa punches Alan, but Space Racer blasts a hole through the Viltrumite behind her head, killing him. Alan jumps on the back of his bike as Space Racer tells Alan that they pretty much got lucky with the destruction of Viltrum, and it threw them off balance, but that they need to leave now. Alan doesn't want to, but he doesn't really have a choice, and he reluctantly agrees to go with Space Racer, leaving Mark and Nolan behind to deal with Thragg. Father and son then face down the Grand Regent as he plans to get back into the fight. Mark asks how they can beat him, but Nolan says that they can't. As Mark asks why, Nolan tells him that in order to be Grand Regent, Thragg was trained from birth to be the strongest, that he was educated in all forms of combat, and they simply can't beat him on their own, and Thragg rushes forward, choking both of them at the same time, and Nolan literally thinks they're about to die as the Grand Regent humbles them both. Nolan manages to kick away Thragg's grip on Mark as he yells towards his son to escape. Mark tries to fly away, but Thragg easily catches up, grabbing him by the hair and proceeds to beat the shit out of him. However, as Nolan tries to rush in, Thragg impales him with his arm and basically guts Nolan. Mark watches in horror as Thragg is about to gouge his eyes out and kill him. However, Thragg decides not to kill them, and as Krieg asks why, he rushes forward, basically yelling that he doesn't want them to stay alive, but he's easily stopped by Thragg, with the Grand Regent saying that they need all Viltrumites alive, even them. And this part of the fight in comic ends with Mark and Nolan left nearly dead, floating in space, as the remaining Viltrumites fly away. Alright, but if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below if you want to see more Invincible videos in the future. But with all that out of the way, I will see you in the next one. Peace.